Mike Tyson walks through a narrow Brooklyn alley at 12:20 a.m. on a Saturday night in September 1989. His footsteps echo off wet brick walls 3 stories high on both sides. The ground is slick from rain an hour earlier. Puddles catch fragments of distant yellow streetlights. The air smells like garbage and damp concrete. This is Brownsville, the neighborhood that raised him. The neighborhood that taught him violence before Customato ever taught him boxing. Mike knows these streets, knows their rhythm, knows when something feels wrong. And right now something feels very wrong. 3 men step into the light ahead, blocking the exit. Mike stops, doesn't panic, just stops. They're young, early 20s, baggy clothes, bandanas, hands in pockets, the universal posture of men looking for trouble. Mike turns slowly. 4 more men behind him, closing in. 7 total, both exits blocked. The alley suddenly feels smaller, tighter, like walls closing in on purpose. The tall one in front speaks, maybe 6'2", scar across his left eyebrow, voice rough like sandpaper on concrete. You know where you at? It's not really a question, it's a test, a challenge wrapped in false courtesy. Mike says nothing, just watches. His hands stay relaxed at his sides. No fists yet, but his weight shifts, balance centered, feet positioned. The fighter in him already calculating distances, angles, exits that don't exist. A voice from behind. Yo, that's Mike Tyson. Laughter, sharp and mocking. Nah man, that ain't him. Tyson got security. Tyson don't walk through Brownsville at midnight. More laughter. The tall one steps closer. 3 feet away now. Close enough Mike can smell cigarettes and cheap alcohol on his breath. You look like somebody famous. Maybe you got famous people money. His hand comes out of his pocket. No weapon, just a hand. But the threat is clear. This is the moment most people comply. Hand over the wallet. De-escalate. 7 against 1. Smart odds say give them what they want, and walk away breathing. But Mike Tyson never did smart odds. The thing about growing up in Brownsville is you learn one rule early, and you learn it hard. Show weakness once. You show it forever. These streets remember. These men will remember. And Mike Tyson stopped showing weakness when he was 13 years old and put a bully in the hospital for killing his pigeon. I don't want trouble. Mike's voice is calm, quiet, not pleading, just stating fact. The tall man smiles. It's not friendly. Too late for that. You already got trouble. Question is, you gonna make it easy or hard? The other 6 close in. The circle tightens. Mike can feel bodies behind him now. Can hear breathing. Can sense the violence building like pressure before a storm. They think they have him. 7 against 1. Dark alley. No witnesses. No cameras. Just a payday and a story they can tell for years. But they made 3 mistakes. First, they cornered him. Gave him no escape route. Which means Mike has nothing to lose. Second, they got close. Too close. Within striking range. Distance advantage gone. Third and most important, they assumed 7 against 1 meant they'd already won. They assumed Mike Tyson would fight like a regular person. Try to defend. Try to escape. Try to minimize damage. Mike Tyson doesn't fight like a regular person. The tall one reaches for Mike's shoulder. Empty your pock. He never finishes the sentence. Mike's right hand shoots forward. Not a wide boxing hook. A short, brutal straight punch directly to the solar plexus. Dead center. The tall man's breath evacuates his lungs in one violent gasp. His eyes go wide. Mouth opens. No sound comes out. His knees buckle. He drops. 1 second standing. Next second crumbling to wet concrete. Gasping like a fish on dry land. The other 6 freeze. Maybe half a second. Shock. Confusion. Their leader is down. That wasn't supposed to happen. That half second is all Mike needs. He pivots left. Second man reaching for him. Mike's fist finds the same target. Solar plexus. Same technique. Same result. The man doubles over, clutching his chest, trying desperately to remember how to breathe. 2 down in 3 seconds. Now the remaining 5 understand. This isn't going to be easy. This is going to be a fight. They rush him all at once. No coordination. Just panic and adrenaline. Mike doesn't try to fight all 5. He fights one. Then the next one. Then the next. Economy of motion. Customato drilled it into him years ago. Don't waste movement. Don't waste energy. One target at a time. One technique at a time. Perfect execution. Third man comes from the right. Mike slips the wild punch. Steps inside. Drives his fist into the solar plexus. The man's forward momentum carries him into the punch, making it worse. He collapses forward, hitting the ground face first. Hands clawing at his chest. Fourth man tries to grab Mike from behind. Bear hug. Mike drops his weight. Drives his elbow back into the man's midsection. Not the solar plexus this time. Close enough. The grip releases. Mike spins. drives a short punch into the center of the man's chest. 4 down. The last 3 hesitate. They can see all 4 of their friends on the ground, can hear the desperate gasping, can see Mike standing there breathing controlled, hands ready, not even winded. This isn't a man. This is something else, something dangerous, something they made a terrible mistake cornering. One of them pulls a knife. Small blade maybe 4 inches. He holds it out, hand shaking. Stay back, man. Stay back. Mike doesn't rush him, just walks forward, slowly, deliberately. The man with the knife backs up. His friends back up with him. They're retreating. The hunter became the prey. The man slashes with the knife. Wild, desperate. Mike moves his head 6 inches. The blade cuts only air. He steps inside the man's reach, catches the wrist, twists, drives his free hand into the solar plexus. The knife clatters to the ground. The man follows it, collapsing, joining his friends in gasping agony. 2 left. They look at each other. Look at Mike. Look at their 5 friends on the ground. The decision is instant and unanimous. They run, turn and sprint back down the alley, footsteps splashing through puddles, fading into darkness. Mike doesn't chase them, just stands there breathing steady, watching them disappear. Then he looks down at the 5 men on the ground, all clutching the same spot, all making the same sounds, all experiencing the same specific agony of a paralyzed diaphragm. Mike walks past them, steps over bodies like stepping over trash bags, continues down the alley toward the subway, doesn't look back, doesn't call police, doesn't call anyone, just walks. The whole thing lasted maybe 2 minutes. 7 men, 2 minutes, 5 on the ground, 2 running, 0 injuries to Mike Tyson. Just another night in Brownsville. But one of the men who ran makes a mistake. He goes to the hospital 3 hours later. His ribs hurt too much. He thinks maybe something is broken. The doctors examine him. No broken ribs, but severe soft tissue trauma to the solar plexus region. Diaphragm spasm. They ask what happened. He lies, says he fell. Doctors don't believe him but don't push. They treat him and send him home. But they file a report, hospital policy for suspicious injuries. The next day 2 more men come in. Same injury, same location, same severity, different hospital, same lie. They fell. Hospital staff contacts police. 2 men, same specific injury, same night, same general area. Suspicious. Police start looking into it. Then a 3rd man comes in. Then a 4th. Then the 5th. All within 48 hours. All with identical injuries. All claiming they fell or got hurt playing basketball or got in separate unrelated accidents. 5 men. Identical injuries. Same night, same neighborhood. Police know something happened. They pull hospital records. Examine the medical reports. The attending physician at Brooklyn General, Dr. Sarah Chen, notes something unusual. The trauma pattern is remarkably consistent and precise. The bruising indicates a focused, controlled strike, delivered with significant force to the exact same anatomical location on all 5 patients. She'd never seen anything like it. 5 different people injured in what appeared to be 5 separate incidents, yet all bearing the signature of the same technique, the same angle, the same level of force. Detective Marcus Williams catches the case. 20 years on the force. He'd seen everything. Gang violence, muggings, bar fights, domestic disputes. But this is different. This is surgical. He interviews the 5 men separately. Their stories contradict each other. Timelines don't match. Locations vary. But the injuries are identical. And all 5 have one thing in common. They're known gang affiliates. Same crew. All 5 arrested before. All 5 with records. Detective Williams does what good detectives do. He starts checking surveillance footage. Pulls cameras from a 6-block radius. Most cameras in Brownsville don't work. Broken. Vandalized. Budget cuts. But he finds one. Corner bodega. 2 blocks from where he suspects the incident occurred. Footage shows 7 men entering an alley at 12:17 a.m. 2 men running out of the same alley at 12:19 a.m. 2 minutes. 5 men don't come out. At least not on camera. He walks the alley himself. Finds traces. Scuff marks on wet concrete. Pattern suggesting bodies had been on the ground. No blood. Just scuff marks. And the faint residue of something that happened fast and violent. He interviews residents. Nobody saw anything. Nobody heard anything. This is Brownsville. People know better than to see things. But one old woman, Mrs. Patterson, who lives above the alley, says something interesting. Says she heard sounds that night. Shouting. Then thuds. Then silence. Then footsteps. One set of footsteps. Walking away calm and steady. Not running. Walking. Detective Williams pieces it together. 7 gang members cornered someone in that alley. That someone defended himself. Defended himself with remarkable precision and control. Used the same technique repeatedly. Solar plexus strikes. Paralyzing but not permanently damaging. effective but restrained. 5 men down. 2 ran. The someone walked away. Never reported it. Never needed to. Because the someone wasn't a victim. The someone was more dangerous than all 7 combined. Williams pulls reports of anyone notable in the area that night. Cross-references with the timeline. Finds something. A 911 call made at 12:27 a.m., 8 minutes after the 2 men ran from the alley. Anonymous caller reported sounds of a fight, but by the time patrol arrived the alley was empty. Williams checks one more thing. Calls boxing gyms in the area. Asks if anyone had seen Mike Tyson that night. Gleason's gym confirms Tyson had been training earlier that evening. Left around 11 p.m., told his trainer he was visiting a friend in Brooklyn before heading home. Williams writes his report. Documents the medical evidence. Notes the consistent injury pattern. Includes Dr. Chen's assessment. Concludes that 7 individuals attempted to assault an unknown person in an alley on the night of September 14, 1989. 5 individuals sustained identical injuries consistent with defensive strikes to the solar plexus region. All injuries indicate precision control and extensive training in hand-to-hand combat. No charges filed as alleged victims refused to cooperate and provided inconsistent statements. Case closed. But Williams adds something else. A note. Not official. Just his own observation. He writes that the precision and restraint demonstrated in this incident suggests the defender possessed significant martial arts training. Subject chose a technique that temporarily incapacitated attackers without causing permanent harm. Subject could have inflicted far greater damage but chose not to. This shows remarkable control under extreme pressure. Whoever this person was, they understood the difference between defending themselves and destroying their attackers. That level of judgment under stress is rare. The report never mentions Mike Tyson's name. No evidence directly links him. No witnesses. No cameras catching his face. Just medical records, timelines, and a detective's educated guess. The 5 men who went to the hospital never press charges. Never identify their attacker. One of them years later tells a different story. He gets clean. Leaves the gang life. Starts working construction. He tells his nephew as a cautionary tale about the night he and 6 others tried to rob Mike Tyson in a Brownsville alley. How they thought 7 against 1 meant they'd win. How they were all on the ground inside 2 minutes. How Mike Tyson could have killed them but chose not to. Chose to let them breathe. Chose to let them learn. We all got hit in the same spot. Every single one of us. Same spot. Same pain. Like he was proving a point. Like he was saying I could do this 100 times and you still couldn't stop me. We never talked about it after. Too embarrassing. 7 of us and we got handled like children. But I learned something that night. I learned that real power isn't about beating people down. It's about choosing not to when you easily could. The police report still exists in NYPD archives. 5 men. Identical injuries. Same night. Filed under assault. Defensive action. Case closed. Medical journals later reference it. Dr. Chen writes a paper on consistent trauma patterns in group altercations. She uses the case as an example of how forensic medicine can identify signature techniques. How one person defending themselves against multiple attackers will often default to a single reliable technique. How muscle memory and training override panic. How precision emerges from preparation. Mike Tyson never speaks about that night. Never confirms. Never denies. If asked, he'd probably say he doesn't remember. Or he'd smile. That knowing smile. The one that says more than words ever could. The smile that says you think you know but you don't. You weren't there. You didn't feel it. You didn't choose restraint when rage would have been easier. Because that's the real story. Not that Mike Tyson beat 7 men in an alley. That's impressive but expected. The real story is that he used one technique, 7 times, perfectly. The real story is that he could have broken bones, shattered jaws, permanently damaged those men. But he didn't. He chose the solar plexus. Chose temporary paralysis over lasting harm. Chose to let them breathe again. Chose to let them walk away eventually with nothing but bruised pride and identical injuries. The alley is still there. Same bricks, same dumpsters, same smell. People walk through it every day. Shortcuts, quick routes, time savers. Most don't know the story, but some do. Some in Brownsville still tell it. The night 7 gang members learned that numbers don't mean victory. That violence isn't strength. That real power is knowing when to stop. Mike Tyson walked home that night. Got on the subway. Went back to Manhattan. Trained the next day like nothing happened. Because to him, nothing had happened. Just another moment where the streets tested him. Just another moment where training mattered. Just another reminder that preparation isn't about winning fights. It's about choosing how they end. 7 men thought they'd cornered prey. They'd cornered something else. Something forged in the same streets they claimed to own. Something that understood violence on a level they never would. And that something let them live. Let them learn. Let them carry identical injuries as proof of a single lesson. Mastery isn't about how much damage you can cause. It's about how much damage you choose not to cause when you easily could. The police report proved it. 5 men. Same injury, same night. Surgical precision. Remarkable restraint.
One defender, 2 minutes. That's not a fight. That's a teaching moment. And the lesson is simple. Real strength is knowing you don't have to prove it.